Hi guys, we are back with another episode of Urban Treats, and today I have a very special guest. Alison is with us today, and she's going to show us a traditional recipe from Liverpool, right? So what are we making today?
So today we are making a really traditional old-fashioned recipe which is called wet Nelly. So if you were to go to Liverpool and find somebody and say, oh, what did your grandmother make you? They'd say, wet Nelly. It's a
proper Liverpool.
Proper northern Liverpool comfort food dish, yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's roll the intro and we'll see you for the recipe.
Today's recipe comes all the way from Liverpool, a city founded in 1207 by none other than the villain in the Robin Hood story, King John. Liverpool is not only home to the Beatles and its world-famous football team, it is also home to the world's first commercial wet dock, and the staircase of its central library was the inspiration for Hogwarts. Our guest chef today is Alison Bradley, and when Alison is not volunteering at the local dog shelter, she spends her time helping people grow by teaching the taste of life courses offered by the educational charity Liverpool Community Spirit. So without any further ado, let's get started.
So, Alison, what do we do? What's the first step here?
The very first thing we need to do is we need to soak the bread in the milk. And we're going to cut the crusts off. So we need to cut the crusts off the bread, pop it in the bowl, and then we're going to add the milk, and then we're going to let the bread soak. Okay,
because usually in the bread pudding you leave the crust on.
You could do, but this recipe you take the crusts off. So we're just going to cut the crusts off. And I think maybe that's just so that the bread is softer, because the name of the recipe is wet Nelly. So I think it makes it just a bit wetter if we cut the crusts off.
We don't want any dry bits.
Yeah, exactly. So the birds are going to benefit because we can give the crusts to the birds.
Absolutely.
And then we're just going to
out of your way.
Cut it like that and like that. And get that in the bowl.
Lovely.
Okay. And now you can do this the day before. So if you wanted to, you could do this the evening before, and you could soak the bread overnight.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people do tend to do that with this recipe, is then it gets really nice and soft.
Let it soak properly and yeah.
But normally when I'm making it, I'm not that as prepared as that.
Yeah.
So I just pop it in.
I just get the craving and then I just like make something.
But lots of people do. You can soak it the night before, and the recipe really sort of says soak it the night before.
Okay.
Might need a bigger bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah. That might be enough, actually.
Yeah, I think that was a double-sized loaf.
Yeah, it was. So
okay,
let's
we'll
leave
put that
it
aside.
Yeah.
So one large loaf is enough for this. This is a double one.
So then we're going to just soak the bread in the milk. And I'm thinking we might need a bit more milk, possibly.
Yeah, I've got more right here.
Yep. And we'll just give it a poke around. Tiny bit more, I think, yeah.
Just tell me to stop.
Perfect.
Okay.
And we're just going to let that soak. And as I say, you could do this a couple of hours before and let it soak, or the night before.
I love bread pudding. I mean, bread pudding is one of my favourites.
Is it? Yeah. So this is essentially a bread pudding, but it's called wet Nelly. Actually, I think a little bit more milk, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think a bit more. Yeah.
I had a look at the ingredients. Remind me a bit of a Nelson. Is it a Nelson cake?
Yes.
Pretty similar, but not.
It is pretty similar, and some people say wet Nelly comes from Nelson cake, as in a shortening of Nelson.
Oh, I see.
So Nelson becomes Nelly.
Nelly, yeah.
Because in Liverpool, everybody shortens every name. You can't have a normal name in Liverpool, everything's shortened. Yeah. So I'm Alison, gets shortened to Ali, you know, everything gets shortened. So it doesn't surprise me, it might well come from Nelson and be shortened to Nelly. Yeah. But it is a northern dish, definitely. I've never heard it down south. So it definitely comes from the north. We're going to add some eggs to it, so we are going to have more liquid. Now, if you didn't have any eggs in the house, or if you maybe only had one egg, you could probably get away with that. But we're going to make this quite rich with 3 eggs today. Yeah. So, but it's such a brilliant recipe because you literally throw everything in.
Yeah.
And then it's done.
And it's not so many ingredients either. It's like, you know.
So the recipe, it's really one of these recipes that whatever you've got in the house, staples, and it's to fill you up. And it's great for a November day in England because it's nice and warming, and it's just real comfort food, and it's not expensive. Yeah, it's really, really cheap because in Liverpool, you know, traditionally people were very poor. So this would have been like a loaf of stale bread, you know, whatever was going spare, bit of butter, some sugar, some currants or sultanas, and an egg, and that's it, you know, and then you got the spice to make the flavour.
So you make something out of the little stuff you have. Yeah. And something great. I mean, well, still tastes amazing.
Yeah. So once you've done that, all you have to do is add everything else. Okay. It's really easy. I think I'll do the sugar first. Now, we're using brown sugar. Obviously, you could use any sugar, but it's nicer with brown sugar.
Gives it a bit more extra flavour, doesn't it?
It does, and it's better for you.
Yeah, and we're using light brown today, so...
Yeah. You could use dark brown. You can use... This is the beauty of this recipe. You can use anything.
Whatever you have at home.
Yeah, whatever you've got. But I think that light brown is really, really nice. Then we've got more sweetness with the, we're using raisins today, but you could use sultanas, or the recipe actually calls for mixed dried fruit if you've got it. But it's not always easy to get that. Mixed dried fruit is normally sultanas, raisins, and then it's got those little bits of, is it angelica maybe? Something like that. But honestly, it's fine.
It's funny, I never liked raisins as a kid in recipes.
Oh, really?
But now that I'm an adult, it's like...
But look how nice that looks already.
Yeah, it looks amazing. It looks very good.
Absolutely lovely. Now we're going to add the spice next, I think. So we're going to put that in.
I love mixed spice. It smells Christmas to me. No, it's like... Yeah, it's
that
amazing.
Really is, isn't it? Christmas.
That's the smell of Christmas.
It really, really is. And again, if you didn't have mixed spice in the house, you could probably use cinnamon or nutmeg or something like that. Now you want the butter to be softened, so this has been sitting out for so this is room temperature. So I'm just going to cut it up a little bit just to make it easier to
fold into the rest.
But some people may even melt it in the microwave, but I think this will be fine because it's room temperature. So we're just gonna...
Oh my God, this smells really good. I mean,
and it's just simple, simple.
That's my weekend cake.
But you know, the other good thing about this is that you can have it for breakfast.
Yeah.
So you can have it as a pudding or dessert, but it's also really lovely for breakfast with a cup of tea in the morning as well.
I eat everything for breakfast.
Do
cake,
you?
Oh yeah, cake, cinnamon rolls, everything unhealthy.
Well, I eat curry for breakfast, so cold curry.
Love it.
I quite like sweet for breakfast, I must admit.
Me too. Sweet pastry or something.
Yeah, something like that. But I guess because you're from Austria, aren't you? So I imagine that's,
We have dessert for dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I tell my friends, we're having this for dinner, and they're like, "What? That's a dessert?" I said, "No. In Austria, that's dinner. That's a proper dinner."
So this is looking good.
That looks great.
Yeah. So now we're going to add the egg, and I know the butter's not. You can still see the bits of butter, but this is one of those recipes where it kind of doesn't matter. And like if you're busy and you just want to get a quick pudding done, it's fine. It's not. This isn't fine dining. So put in it again. And I'm going to put 2 eggs in, and we're going to see what that's like.
Get the right consistency.
Yeah.
So we want it to be still a bit firm, but not too runny, no? Yeah.
And as I say, you could probably get away with 1 egg if you didn't have any eggs. Yeah.
Milk or...
So what do you think? Do we need another egg? Or do you think that's about right? I think it's good as well. Yeah, I do too. Okay. So we've greased the tin. And we're just going to pop it in there.
Yeah, there you go. All yours.
And again, there's no finesse to it. You just shove it in. Thank you. And it's going to be really delicious.
It looks great already.
And we're going to pop it in the oven. And then it's the kind of thing you can pop it, you know, if you could make this before the main, whatever you were going to cook for your main course, pop it in the oven for an hour and then it's ready.
Nice and hot.
Yeah.
With a bit of custard.
Yeah, so traditionally you would eat this with custard if you're going to eat it as a dessert or a pudding. And then obviously once it gets cold, you can have it and cut it up as almost like a cake with a cup of tea. But yeah, we're going to add some custard to it, and we're not going to make custard. I mean, obviously you can make custard, but this kind of dish is like you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
You're just going to use custard powder.
Quick and ready, and the way you do it at home, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
There you go. I don't want to waste anything.
This is quick comfort food, and everybody loves
That looks lovely.
custard made with Bird's custard powder. And there we go. How quick is that?
That's very quick.
Done.
So what's next? We put this in the oven.
Yeah.
How do we bake this?
So you just put it in the oven. I'm going to say 45 minutes and then check it.
And then check it, yeah.
It might need an hour.
At 170, 180?
Yeah.
Yeah, 180 degrees. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll put that in the oven and we'll see you back in a minute to make the custard. Let's do it. So we'll make some custard the traditional way, or the way it goes with the wet Nelly, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
So wet Nelly is best with custard as a dessert. And I mean, you could make your own custard, but who makes their own custard when you've got Bird's instant custard powder? And you know, as a child, we'd really look forward to any pudding with custard.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know anyone who makes their own custard. When you've got the custard powder, it's so much easier. So what we've done is we've got 2 tablespoonfuls of custard powder and 2 tablespoons of sugar. But you can do however much sugar you want.
Okay.
It's entirely up to you. That's what it suggests. You could put more, you could put less. We've done equal quantities of both. And then what you want to do is you want to make a little sort of paste with it first. So you don't put the whole milk in first. You make a paste with a little bit of the milk, and then you add the milk as you go on.
So that you don't get clumps in the
because
custard.
that's the thing is lumpy custard.
Yeah, you don't want lumpy
is
custard.
something that we always had at school. So we're going to turn this on. Yeah. And I'm going to say medium heat.
Yeah.
You don't want it scalding or anything, obviously. And we're going to put all of this in. Now, you can cheat even more and do this in the microwave.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of people would do it in the microwave.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can do it in the microwave. It's
So just mix it all up and put it in the microwave?
Yeah.
And that's it? Wow.
So, but we're not going to do that. We're going to do it, and you're going to make that paste, and it turns that lovely orange colour
right away, doesn't it? Yeah.
straight away.
I love custard. Apple crumble pie or cherry crumble pie with custard on top is just...
It's the best, isn't it?
It is.
And then just like you're making like a cheese sauce or something like that, you just add it gradually. I might
Keep stirring.
Turn
it down a bit,
yeah. That's it.
There you go.
You whisk and I'll pour. Yeah.
I think we're almost there. There we go.
So now we want to get it quite hot because we want it to thicken up a little bit. But again, you can do this how you like. You could add more custard powder if you wanted thicker custard. You could add more milk if you want thinner custard. It's up to you. There we go. Looks good.
I can't see a single
It's
clump.
the right consistency for me, anyway.
And this is how you make wet Nelly, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, this is so easy to make. The kitchen smells like Christmas. It's absolutely delicious. And now is the moment I have been waiting for. Taste test, right? I mean, this is a really special taste test. Can I do the first taste test?
You can do the honours, yes.
So, a little bit of custard, a little bit of wet Nelly. Wow.
That's the reaction I was looking
for. Guys, you really have to try this. Alison, thank you so much for showing us this recipe. We really enjoyed it. We had a great day. And I'm going to finish the rest of this. I'm not sharing. There's some more here. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.